Now let's get into another conversation here on Breakfast Daily. And you know, for ChannelOne TV, we tell the story, and we tell the story for the change that is needed in the communities. But now there is a show coming up. There is something coming up that you'd want to know about. And in studio is Apioko. Today Apioko didn't come in. So which of the hats are you wearing today?
Today I'm here as Apioko of ChannelOne TV.
Of ChannelOne TV, okay.
Yes.
So Apioko is the head of programs department, and she's here to tell us what's the entire thing is about, the new thing that they are bringing on board will all be about. ChannelOne Community Legends.
That's right, ChannelOne Community Legends. Now, as the name suggests, we are going into our communities and we are looking for legends.
Beautiful.
Now, you spoke about how we tell stories at ChannelOne TV, and in fact, our tagline, exactly, telling your story, empowering change, meaning that everybody, each and every one of our viewers watching us, each and every one of us here at ChannelOne TV, each and every Ghanaian has a story
to be told.
And that story, when told right, can actually empower, inspire, and effect change in our communities, in our nation. And so with the ChannelOne Community Legends, what we are doing is that we are looking for stories of everyday Ghanaians.
Oh, nice.
Especially people who, you know, in the urban areas, it's a little more because of social media, because of the way digitalization is in these parts, and also because we center a lot of things on our urban living.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when people are doing things, it's a little easier to see. But we want the peri-urban stories. We want the stories of people who live in our inner cities, who are doing things. It can be the wache seller who has decided that every morning I'm feeding 15 school children on their way to school because their parents can't do it. Nobody knows. She's been doing it quietly. We want to celebrate such a person. It can be the teacher who has decided that, as for me, regardless of all the challenges that our educational sector is facing, regardless of the fact that my school doesn't have a building, we are still under a tree, I will bring transformational education to the students who have been entrusted into my care. It can even be still in the educational space, a group of young people who have decided that, look, we all come from a certain community in Ghana. We are educated, we are literate, we are exposed. We are not teachers, but we want to come together and go and teach children every week in a deprived area in our community who don't have access to a school. These are the kinds of people we want to celebrate. This morning, Bernard Avler told a story about how over the weekend in Ho, he met a young farmer. He's just in his early 20s, thereabout. And he started farming because he was, after finishing school, he's a graduate, he didn't have access to so he finished SHS, and he didn't have money to go to university. But he's very well spoken, very intelligent. So he got a job as a farmhand. Now there are problems with the management of the farm. They closed everything down. Then the young people took up leadership. They started farming, and 3 years later, he's recognized as the best young farmer.
Oh, interesting. He's revived the business.
I'm telling you, employing 13 people and 15 more on the wing to bring into the business. So these are the stories we want to hear. People who are not sitting down and folding their arms and saying that, oh, you know what, nothing is going to work, so we are just going to live by the status quo. They are taking their own story, charting the path with their own story, and they're affecting change. That's what the ChannelOne Community Legends is about.
So is that going to be sort of a nomination? Is that going to be like we would have to tell the story like the way we've been telling stories here? How are people going to be part of this whole legend program that we are bringing?
So when we use the word community, so ChannelOne Community Legends, when we use the word community, we are not just talking about the communities that these people come from, these legends come from. We are also talking about community as a people. And so we want these stories that we are telling and spotlighting to be brought to us by communities across the country. Today, we are just letting people know that this is what we intend to do. After all the work we've done, 7.5 years as a television station, we've seen so much, we've heard so much. We do development journalism. We want to impact media. Everything we do has an impact for Ghana, for the world on a larger scale, but it starts with a small seed.
Exactly.
And that's where we are going. So we are just letting people know that this is what we are about to do. Within the week, we will let our viewers know how you can nominate a community legend. Now, we're announcing it today so that you can take your time and think about the kind of story, the kind of person that you feel deserves this kind of recognition. We don't want it to be rushed. So perhaps some 3 years ago, you encountered somebody, you encountered a situation, and in that moment you said to yourself, this person needs to be spotlighted. Exactly. This person needs to be celebrated. This person needs to be supported to do more of what they are doing. We want you to take your time and reflect on that. Then now when we give the nomination details, you let us know. That's how the window will open. So within this week, we'll put out those details for nomination channels. Then by February, so in about 3 months, by the end of February, we would have announced who the community legends for this cycle are. And so it's very much community, society based. It's for the people. We are telling your story, back to our tagline. But I also want to talk about why something like this is important. So why is ChannelOne doing? They're always doing things. ChannelOne is city people are always doing something.
You're always bringing things on board. Why are you doing this?
Because it is no longer enough to just report news.
Okay.
It is no longer enough just to sit on air and lament about our problems. It is no longer enough to simply take what we see in the news and analyze it and then put it on air. We must get into the fray and also get our hands dirty for change to happen. As a media house, we have convening power. People respect us. There are people who tune in to Breakfast Daily every morning, Philip, just to watch, and not just to hear what you are saying about what the newsmakers have said, but they value your opinion.
Very true.
They value your passion that you bring to the spotlight when you are talking about our problems as Ghanaians.
We were just talking about, someone sent me a personal message and was like, oh, we are excited you're talking about this. And the fare from Accra to Kaswa is 10 Ghana cedis, and people are taking 30 Ghana cedis.
So you are telling the story of the Ghanaian who takes trotro every morning and has to deal with the disrespect. The lack of dignity, the indiscipline, just because I was born in Ghana and I need transportation. Why? But the passion that you as a journalist, you bring to it, when you go beyond the studio, now I know even personally, you even reach out for stories to tell some of these people, duty bearers, what needs to be done. That's the impact. When we do our events, Agri-Fair, Business Festival, we realize that there's a need for entrepreneurs to have some kind of information. So we put together a business festival. We realize that there's a disconnect between our consumers and our farmers. Where's the missing link? We step in, we show what's possible. This is Ghana. We realize that there are a lot of people who don't have big marketing budgets because most of our businesses are playing in the SME space. However, they need platform. We have the platform, we've created it. We are doing it from. That's impact media. That's development media. Now, beyond all of that, now we are saying that sometimes what you are doing in your own corner may not make the news. Because for whatever reason, we may not see. It may not be, let's be honest, there's a bit of sensationalism in media and the way things are conducted and projected. But ChannelOne TV, we are saying, we see you. And if we don't see you, we want to see you. And so we're asking our viewers to let us know these people
and
who are...
See them.
And you see, we need to get to a point where Ghanaians are inspired to take up civic responsibility. Government has their place, but the indiscipline you're talking about, is it government?
It's not government.
It's not. We are also part of the problem.
Also part of it.
And we are part of it because many of us don't even know that we have the power and the responsibility to be, to create an environment that is conducive for living as citizens of Ghana. Now, when we do this, we are teaching our young ones that they have no responsibility as citizens. It's a very dangerous thing. They lack inspiration and motivation to do good for their society. So we want to tell these stories so that we are molding and shaping the character and the mindset of young Ghanaians, that when you succeed, when you step out every morning, when you eat, when you sleep, it shouldn't just be about you. You must think about your community, You must think about your society. You must think about your nation, your country, and then what your place as a Ghanaian is on the global scale.
Beautiful.
If you can't do that, then you've actually failed as a nation.
So this is a national,
It
or a
is.
nationwide thing.
Nationwide initiative, national initiative. So looking for people from all over the country, all 16 regions, across every constituency, across each district. We want to know those who are creating a change. They are not begging for recognition.
Exactly.
We want to give
We
it
want
to
give
them.
the recognition. So by close of week, we will know how to get
Exactly.
in touch and everything.
Exactly.
and
But we
how
want
be
people to
followed.
start taking notes that, okay, this person, because we want the right stories, the right people to give this glory to.
Beautiful. So you should be thinking about that now. The lady in your neighborhood who maybe is giving sanitary pad
There you
to
go.
the girl child in that area, just to ensure that they are in school.
Yeah.
Or you should be thinking of that gentleman who has actually thought of buying some massets and all that to just push the students, or doing extra classes
Exactly.
for the students in the community and all that. Like Apioko said, we are going to give you the recognition, whether you like it or
Exactly.
yes. We are
And
definitely going to
beyond
give you
that, when we
recognition.
spotlight these stories, we are inviting CSOs, we're inviting government agencies, corporate Ghana, private sector, to see these stories and partner. So if somebody is doing something that can be amplified, maybe you have always been interested in supplying sanitary towels to girls, the example you used, in communities, but you don't know how, or you don't have the time, you don't have the machinery. Somebody is doing it. Can you give them resources, maybe a car to go around distributing, some money to purchase some of the pads, maybe even own a sanitary towel company, and you can supply. We want to see partnerships, because you see, development only happens when we are partnering each other. And it's something that unfortunately as Ghanaians we don't do. Everybody wants to be a Ankonam, Lone Ranger.
Sure.
Mipe. Not even your family sometimes, we're just you.
Yeah, just you.
And it's not the way to live. We all need each other. But sometimes too, you don't know what someone else is doing. And so you don't even know that there's an opportunity for collaboration. So we also want those, as we are getting these stories ready and putting them out there, those who have some kind of power, passion, dream for Ghana and for Ghana's children, Ghana's youth, for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, who we think Ghanaians should be, what we think Ghana should look like. And you think that when I see this story, I can work with this person to make that happen. Also be on standby, because we need you.
So now we are telling the good story.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you should be thinking of how to tell that good story of that neighbor or that individual within your community. Is there a timeline?
So like I said, after we put out the nomination information this week, it's a 3-month campaign.
Oh.
So by the end of February, we'd have outdoored, unveiled,
Yeah.
would tell the whole world, behold, these are the ChannelOne community legends. And there are different cohorts. So this is something we are doing annually. It's not a one-off. We started in December 2025. By February 2026, we'll have our first cohort. December 2026 will come again. You'll get the nominations window out. We'll have an announcement like this. Nominations will open. And then by the following year, end of February, you have your next cohort. So it's something that's our gift as ChannelOne TV to Ghana, to our communities, and to our young people. Because we know that unfortunately, we are failing them in what kind of modeling they should be getting for how they should live their lives as citizens of this country. And it's a very sad thing that we are doing. But if there's anything we can do as a media house, we will do it. And ChannelOne Community Legends is one of the things that we are doing to do that.
Thank you so much for your time. Apioko is the head of programs department, and she has come to announce to us ChannelOne Community Legends. Start thinking about it now, and you'd want to nominate that individual within your community, within your workspace, or that individual you know who is making a change in that small space that you know him or her. We'll take a quick